We work hard, we play hard. We are gamerpreneurs. Individuals who have chosen to give up the security of a 9 to 5 in favor of getting to set our own hours, of doing the work that we want to do, and we refuse to give up the hobby that we grew up with in order to, quote, grow up. We have learned countless laws of life and sales from the games that we play, and we excel in everything we do. We see the wonder and glory in every interaction. We fit in awkwardly with the rest of the world because they don't understand our quirkiness, and we wear it as a badge of pride. We are focused, clear, and know what we want. We are gamerpreneurs, and we are taking over the world. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Gamerpreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bradford Carlton. Today, I have a very special guest for you. I have Tim Stewart. How's it going, Tim?
Doing pretty good. How are you, man?
I am fantastic. How about yourself?
Pretty good.
I don't mind asking you again. So, Tim, what's your handle? What can I call you?
You can call me Tim or Timster918.
Timster918. All right. Okay. Now, tell me about yourself, Tim.
I grew up in Maryland. Ever since I was young, I've always been into games, always been to anything like technology based, always into computers, phones, and things like that. I went down several career paths, several jobs, several ventures and things like that. And I always just knew that gaming, YouTube, and Twitch and everything like that was going to be something that I'd stick with. So pretty much that wraps up everything that I do. My whole life revolves around like technology and gaming.
Fantastic. I'm going to have you unpack that in just a second because I really want to know kind of your life story, how you got to where you are. Because this is,
right.
I find it fascinating that, there's this myth that gamers are lazy, they have no ambition, that they're basement dwellers, and that couldn't be anything farther than the truth. Like a lot of us are out here hustling, so I get this.
Yeah, yes.
So I always start every interview with one question though, and I want to ask you this, like everybody else.
Right.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high, how weird are you, Tim?
Oh, 10, easy.
How's that?
Like I'm so far away from like traditional standards in terms of like what I want to do with my life and where I see myself going. I know a lot of people just want to take that traditional route of like, not being a gamer or gamers just for like, younger children, and they want to go on and do traditional jobs and live a, traditional life. And I'm completely different. Like I do everything that anyone would say they'd rather not do or that they consider crazy for me to be doing at my age. So that's why I consider myself abnormal.
Honestly, it sounds like you're more of a gamerpreneur than just weird.
Oh, absolutely, man. I can definitely consider myself a gamerpreneur, man. And, I make memes and stuff too. Like I make, say stupid things and a whole bunch of stuff, man.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So why don't you tell us a little bit how you got started in streaming? Let's start there.
Okay. I started when I was around 13 or 14. I was actually living with my mom at the time, and she had horrible internet. So I was really confused. And, I noticed that, my friend had told me about a streamer on Twitch named Lyric. And, he was really popular and everybody was watching him. And I was like, wow, you can actually watch people. And, while you're playing games. And he was like, yeah, man, it's cool. And people can sub to you. And, so I was really excited. So I tried it, man. I had all my everything set up, had my mom's laptop, didn't even have a graphics card then at the time. But, I was a dreamer, and I tried to stream, and my friend was in my stream, and it dropped like 4,000 frames within like 3 seconds because she just didn't have the internet to handle it. So what I did is eventually I moved to my dad's house. He had, good internet. And from there around 2014, early 2014 and beyond, I've been streaming and loving it, man. And, play different kind of games and stuff like that.
Fantastic. So you've been doing this about 5 years.
5 years.
Did you always assume you'd be playing video games like this? You kind of gave us your backstory until you've tried other kinds of things. What did you try?
Oh man, like everything. Like, when I was young and just trying to start off playing games, my mom and my dad, they would say, oh, you just put the games down and, try to do traditional jobs.
You'll never make a living off video games.
Exactly. Oh, you never make a living, video games are only for adults, only for kids. You've passed that phase in your life. They told me to work at grocery stores or, try delivering mail or, try to work at, fast food places, anything pretty much. I've tried it all. And like, even as a young kid, like I knew around 3 or 4 years old, they told me that you wouldn't know at that age, but I just knew that this is going to be something I would stick with, and from that age, that's how I knew.
Wonderful. All right. When did it become obvious that this was the thing for you though?
I'd probably say when I was around 15 years old, I was actually going for a pretty big interview. And in the morning, my mom had came in my room and she had told me, am I ready for it? And I looked at her and I was like, I actually think I'm going to go down the gamer route. I'm going to pursue this. I'm not really interested in this career thing anymore. And she just gave me like the maddest look, like the devil stare. And she was like, you are not going to do that. Put this away. And like from that moment, I just knew like that's when I made that choice that I wasn't going to go down the traditional route.
Wonderful. Lee, can I ask, how old are you?
23.
Okay. All
Yes,
right. So you've
sir.
been at this for a while then.
Oh yeah, man. Quite a while for sure.
Wonderful. So, how's it going? How's your stream doing? Do you have other channels like YouTube or what you doing?
Oh yes, yes. It's like Timster918 across everything. I got, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and it's been going pretty well. I like changed up the way I was doing things. I was just doing it like traditional standards, starting the stream and not really having like a direction to where I was going. So I actually started, doing things that everyone recommends, which is, marketing and getting your name out there, talking to people and getting involved in different communities. And I have definitely seen an improvement in like my results.
Wonderful. All right. So what unique skills do you think you have that maybe somebody else doesn't that help you be successful?
I would definitely say one of the things that a whole bunch of my friends tell me is that like I'm just naturally funny. Like they just tell me like I'm a huge comedian and I'm just able to just spit out random jokes and just make a situation into a funny one. So I definitely say that mixed with I'm not the best, but I'm pretty decent at FPS games. I like playing like shooters and things like that. So, I'm really above average in terms of how I play. And I think, a combination of being funny plus FPS style really make me stand out.
Okay. So do you find that you tend to play like one game at a time, or are you like a variety streamer? You just pick something, whatever fits your fancy that day?
I would say I would probably pick one game at a time. I used to be a variety streamer, but, I've been playing Apex Legends lately. It's a FPS shooter, so I just stick to that right now.
Okay, wonderful.
Hmm.
Now, what kind of resources are you using for your stream? Like, what kind of equipment are you using? I see you got a mic there. What kind of rig are you running? Tell us what you got.
Okay. So I got well for like the things that I use for social media, I use Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to market myself. And I've got the whole thing, man. I went hardcore. So I've got a 1440p a 1440p monitor. I've got another 1080p one, for a chat and everything. I've got beast of a PC, like 3K worth of stuff like 1080 Ti and an 8-core 16-thread processor. I've got an AT2020 microphone, and I got these Turtle Beaches that I'm wearing right now. So I've spent quite a bit on stuff.
Wonderful. My mic's at Turtle Beach too, so I feel you.
Oh, nice.
All right. So is it working for you? Are you making money on this?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm not. As of right now, it's not like, definitely enough to like pay for everything that I need in my day-to-day life, but I definitely make, a little bit from, month to month. I'm making a couple from YouTube and Twitch combined.
Okay. And can you kind of explain how that works? Twitch, you have subscribers, but there's also cheering and bits, and YouTube is the monetization.
Right.
Do you sell merchandise in any way?
Right. No merchandise right now, but that's where my main source of income would come from is from Twitch, subscribers. Of course, people can sub in different tiers, like, the $4.99, $9.99, 24 for different like emotes and stuff like that, donations, cheers. And like you said, with YouTube monetization, I, have like over 200-300 YouTube videos. Of course, those collect money over time. That's how I mainly get my money.
Fantastic. All right. And what do you do IRL?
Oh man, like in all honesty, it's a pretty boring lifestyle for me, man. If I'm not at home gaming and relaxing, I'm just at work. I just work as a merchandiser, merchandise chips and stuff like that. Other than that, I mean, if I'm not with family, hanging out, I'm pretty much at home gaming and streaming.
See, you're not that weird.
Oh yeah,
You're
man.
a normal person.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Now, I'd love to know, because, you've been doing this since you were 12, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
If you could go back and, talk to little Timster918 and say, hey man, this is what you need to know in order to be big someday, what would you say?
I would definitely say to stop wasting so much time on like what people consider like the grind, which is, just aimlessly just like going 9 to 10 hours a day, because people just tell you just need to grind and just work harder and work harder, and I feel like that's not it. I feel like working smarter is how you get the results. So I would tell little me to stop putting in so many hours on just streaming alone and diversify by building up a network and building and marketing first before just streaming for aimless hours.
Okay, can you like expand on that a little bit? How would you recommend marketing? How would you network?
I would say, and people consider this like cheesy, but I would say if you look at streaming in a way of like just to make money and just to make a living, you're not going to really have fun. You have to actually go out there and build relationships, get involved in conversations and communities on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and actually get involved and show people that you care about them first. And when you show people that you care about them first, and you get involved in their communities, maybe sub to somebody, watch somebody on Twitch or YouTube, and just show them that you care, they're most likely to return the favor. And that's how I've gotten the best return on my time investment.
Okay. In other words, you're saying people need to be social on social media.
Right. Exactly. Instead of just like being like a bot and posting a link and saying, here I am, come watch me now,
Right. Which
Right.
if you check the hashtag gamer, that's basically everybody. Hey, I'm streaming now. Hey, I'm streaming now.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Now, say someone like me, I don't have a stream. I might have a stream someday. It's kind of just in the future. What advice would you have for someone who has no baseline whatsoever? They haven't even started anything.
I would immediately say I would go to YouTube and just start looking up videos on how to start streaming. And I would say the best thing is just to get started as soon as you possibly can. Don't spend too long looking into research, but you look at a couple of videos to get the gist of it, but just start up with whatever you have. Don't go out and drop so much money on equipment and things like that and think your stream has to be perfect. Just get started, hit that start, live button and just go for it.
All right. Even if you drop 4,000 frames in a second?
Even if you drop 1,000 frames in a second, at least you'll know.
All right. Now I want to know about you kind of as a gamer. So how did you first get started in gaming? Like your earliest memory?
It was actually, I believe I was 3 or 4 years old, and I can't remember the exact game. My first console was the original Xbox, and it was a boxing game. Me and my dad were playing boxing, and I had was beating him up pretty bad in the game, and I almost beat him, and then he was able to knock me out, and like I got upset. I threw my controller and I started crying and screaming and everything. My dad looked at me and he was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, I lost. I was just mad. Of course, being a baby, I lost. I didn't like losing. And he was like, "Well, that's okay. Sometimes you just lose, but you just get back up and you try again. That's how you win." And like from that moment, like that sounded real small, but like that carried on for the rest of my life. And like I knew that I had like a competitive mindset right there, and that's carried on.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
All right. Now, what's your favorite game of all time?
I have to say Call of Duty Black Ops 1 is my favorite
Black Ops
game.
1. I like that one. The
yeah.
multiplayer or the story?
Multiplayer. Story was good too, but multiplayer for sure.
Okay. I dumped quite a few hours into that one. Mine was Modern Warfare 2. I love that one.
Oh, nice. Good choice, man. Good choice. All right.
So are there any games coming out you're looking forward to?
As of right now, I'm mainly grinding Apex Legends, so I haven't really looked at like new games and stuff like that. I know that, there are plenty of games coming out and like plenty of FPS shooters, but mainly looking forward towards Apex Legends updates and seeing where the tournament scene is going to go with that.
All right. So you're looking to get into that somewhat professionally? You're going to grind the ladder?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going all the way with it, man. 100%.
All right. So is that something you're doing now? Where are you at?
Right now, I'd say like in the terms of the game, I'm not like super crazy, but I'm top 10% in the world in terms of like, where I stand at a, competitive standpoint. I've been grinding that game. I have like over 1,300 hours in it now. So, I'm putting in a lot of work and just got a team together. So, I'm forming those basic habits that I need in order to, get to where I want to go.
Wonderful. So that's fantastic. So like, what's the plan? When's the first tournament going to be?
First tournament actually happened a couple of days ago. It was a small little tournament, like $300. We were testing and trying and everything. We got absolutely wiped. I mean, it wasn't even a competition, but, with knowing what we know now, like we can definitely go back and watch our videos and see what we did wrong. And, we're going to correct on that.
You get back up and try again. That's how you win, right?
That's right. That's right.
All right. So kind of a fun question. If you could be any video game character ever, who would you be?
I'd probably say Ghost from Modern Warfare.
Okay. Man, he gets taken out pretty dirty though.
Yeah, he does. Man, it still traumatizes me to think about it. Yeah, man. For sure.
All right. Now I kind of want to know, if it's all right, I want to humble you a little bit. Because you've kind of told us about, the success you've had, you make all these decisions in life that have brought you to where you're at. Right. But what are some things that you failed at that have also brought you to here?
I would definitely say The first time that I failed at streaming and the first time that I failed at YouTube, I had made 2 or 3 videos with my best friend. It was Minecraft at the time. And, I went in with that bad mindset of, oh, this is going to be easy. I'm going to be making so much money, all this, that, and the other. And the video got 1 view, which I'm pretty sure was my friend that actually at the time. And I had actually stopped for like a good year or two. Same thing with streaming. I went into streaming, and that's what I was talking about earlier with the whole grinding and, not really caring about getting involved in communities or caring about, just increasing my, fan base and things like that. And, I stopped, I took a break, and I had to reevaluate. And that really humbled me and showed me that, it's not just going to be, a grind and that's it. It's going to take a lot more dedication in your life to get to where you want to be.
All right. Can I unpack that just a little bit? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure a lot of people have put out 1 video or 1 stream. They got 1 view, if that.
Right.
And, it's not exactly that first video that made you have that mindset change, was it?
Right. No. It was several. It was looking into it. And after almost a good month or 2 months into it, it was looking and seeing just how much dedication it took. And at that stage in my life, I just didn't have the mindset to actually keep up with that. I was using excuses like, oh, well, it must be easier. People must have paid for these views or whatever the case, just trying to validate. Right, exactly. Trying to validate my failures, and like I said, that really humbled me and showed me that the content creators are no joke. Like, they're going in every single day, and it takes a long time for them to actually get appreciated for what they do.
Okay, wonderful. Now, continuing on that path of humbling you a little bit, what's something you're not good at today?
I would definitely say working with a lot of people. It's crazy to say, but actually working with a lot of people and working with a team is something that I need to get used to. I've always been like the lone wolf kind of thing, do everything on my own. If I fail on my own, I want to succeed on my own and things like that. So I'm definitely trying to get better at working as a team and building this relationship with people instead of trying to do everything on my own, because you can't succeed on your own.
Okay. Now, your team, does it have a coach, or are you the coach, or who's like guiding you guys?
As of right now, what we do is after we're done gaming, we just all go back through our VODs and we go back through our videos and we just rewatch them from each person's perspective, just to see exactly what we did wrong. Like every time we lose a fight or we die or get punished for something, that's mainly what we're doing right now.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, going back to your stream for a second.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody pops in for the first time and they've never seen you before, they never heard of you before, they just show up, what do you think something they misunderstand about what they're seeing is?
I would definitely say that the very first thing is a lot of people, they'll come in and say, oh, this is easy, or you're just sitting back and, you're doing nothing, or, you're just gaming, or you're not talking anything. And people just have like that misunderstanding of what I had before, which is, oh, this is easy. You're not doing anything. You're just sitting back, relaxing and just talking. And I feel like that's a huge problem because, people just, they don't understand how much grind and, having to stick to that dedicated schedule every single day, and that's the biggest issue.
All right. So what kind of schedule do you keep?
I go from Tuesday to Friday, and I go from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay. So that's 16 hours a week. That's pretty good.
Right.
It's a part-time job right there.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Now, do you have a good chat or a bad chat?
Oh, I'd definitely say good chat. I'd have a lot of people in there. It sometimes it'll go from, good to people coming in trolls, your average, community. I understand it's internet, it's online, it happens. But
Yeah.
for the most part, I've got mods that'll keep things under control. So I'd definitely say good chat.
Fantastic. Okay. What do you think the best compliment they've ever given you is?
I'd have to say that people say I'm their best streamer, and that, they would honestly not want to watch anybody else, and that, I satisfy them with content every time they come in.
How does that make you feel? Because I mean, you started only a few years ago, and now you have people like looking up to you. Like, does that like blow your mind in any way?
Absolutely, man. Like, to think where I started, and it humbles me so much to think that I started from somewhere and that I'm able to build this following of dedicated people who are willing to take time out of their day, to come see me. So it means the world to me just to know that 1, 2, 3 people want to come by and say hello.
That's so wonderful. All right, now on the flip side of the coin, what's the worst trolling you've ever gotten?
Oh my goodness, man. The worst trolling I ever gotten was, and I didn't know if it was like confirmed or not, but I honestly thought somebody was DDoSing me. Like somebody was actually able to like take me offline. Every time I would stream, Mortal Kombat a couple years ago, some guy would come to my channel and say, I'm going to take your channel offline right now. And I mean, there was nothing I could do about it. Every time he said that, 5 minutes later, my stream would cut off. And no matter what I did, I tried to call my internet company. I tried to tell the dude to stop. And it just wouldn't work. Eventually he went away, but that's the biggest trolling I've ever got.
Oh, geez, that sucks.
Oh man, it was bad. It was bad.
Okay, now we were discussing, networking and getting to know other streamers. What's the community of streamers like? I mean, obviously you got the big guys, you have the small streamers, and where do you fit in there?
I would definitely say I fit somewhere in the middle, not like extremely huge, like, 10, 20 plus, but I wouldn't consider myself a small streamer. I feel like that's like a bad mindset to have when you call yourself a small streamer. You just kind of downplay yourself and things like, but I would definitely say like the streaming community, man, it's crazy. Like it's huge and you really don't think about it until you actually start getting involved in it, how many people are in the community. But I'd probably say somewhere in between.
Okay. Now, when you're networking and you're watching other people's streams, you don't have to name any names, but what is something you see people doing wrong that you like, you guys got to fix that?
Oh my goodness, man. It's like a personal pet peeve. It's just one of the things is like, they just completely ignore their chat. Like I understand that some streamers, of course, if they've got, 20, 30K viewers, there's no way for them to watch their chat, but they're on the rise and they're growing and they just have this inflated ego that, they've got a couple of people, so they don't need to, watch their chat. And I feel like, that's the most important thing. And people just, they want to come into your channel and watch you interact with you. That's why they're there. And people just leave because there's no interaction.
Okay. Now, what kind of advice would you give to someone who maybe doesn't get a lot of viewers, but they know they have to be chatting? What kind of stuff they could talk about?
I would say anything from the start of your day to the very end, or anything memorable from, this week, last month, anything crazy that you can think about. When I first started, I just started making random things up, just things in my head and just things that went on throughout my day or things that I wish went on throughout my day, just to make up a story, just to keep talking,
Okay, fantastic. No, this has been wonderful. So talking about gamerpreneurs, are you seeing anybody doing it well? Who's making money well out there?
Oh, I would definitely say Lyric, Tim the Tap Man, Summit. These are like big names. Ninja, these are like huge names in the industry. And what, the one thing I've noticed about them is that, they built their brand first. They didn't allow, one source of income or one stream of income to define them. I see them doing extremely well.
Okay, fantastic. Are they are those people you look up to, or are you trying to emulate them in any way?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, man. I'd probably say the Ninja is the one that I look up to the most because, he grinded for so long. He's several years, 8, 9, 10 years in the competitive scene. And then now he had a dead chat like a lot of people do when they start out. And he just continued and persevered through everything and got to where he wanted.
Okay. How many more years until you're there?
Oh, man, I'd give myself a good year and a half.
Okay. And how do you plan on doing it? Let's flesh it out. What's like the plan? What's your marketing plan?
I would say, man, I'm just going to keep on growing and keep on going into communities, getting involved in the communities, getting involved in maybe a stream team or these bigger communities, and eventually go to the pro scene. Like I said, once I become a pro, you get signed to a team and, an org. Of course, you got the sponsorships and, you got publicity from being in the org and things like that. And really just branching out after that. That's branching out to different platforms like YouTube and, expanding my Twitter and things like that.
Fantastic. All right. So you said you're all over social media. How do people find you? It's Timster918 everywhere?
Timster918 everywhere. That's right.
Okay. Where's your like main home? Where can people find you and chat with you?
Oh, you can find me on twitch.tv/Timster918. That's where I'm always at.
Beautiful. All right. Now, is there anything else that we haven't talked about you think we need to cover?
That's it, man. Did a pretty good job.
All right. This has been fantastic. I really appreciate this, Tim. This was fun.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right. In that case, I'm gonna sign out and say you all take it easy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Catch you later.
Hey, if you like this podcast, I'd love to invite you to check out a little bit more about me, Dr. Bradford Carlton, gamerpreneur. If you go to my website, www.thegamerpreneur.com/bonus, I'm going to give you a free copy of my book, The Warcraft of Business, where I explain my history in both gaming and business and how I brought the two together in order to create some very successful companies and help a lot of people. And all you got to do is pay for shipping and processing, and I'll send you this book. I absolutely know you're going to love it. All right, you all take it easy.